Hello and welcome to Bendy, a podcast about being flexible in all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young and I'm one of your jubilant, beleaguered hosts. Joining me as always is our other jubilant and beleaguered host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's the crack?
So I'm a mess.
What a start, guys, right?
What a start, right? Not for like necessarily like bad reasons or anything, but I was telling you right before we hopped on, I joined, I don't know if you guys have like parent teacher associations.
We do. I think they have a different name, but I'm going to check that while you're talking. Yeah, but
Okay, so we call it the PTA, and
what is
like
that?
the PTA is usually like it's got this stigma to it where it's full of like parents that, and I'm not saying that's my PTA by any means, but basically it's like parents that are bossy and like know-it-alls, and they make everything difficult, and but they also put on, you know, events, and like they support the school in financial ways and also by providing like other, you know, types of learning and like fun activities. So we put on what we called the or the Monster Mash. We can't call it a fall festival. We can't call it Halloween because we want to be as inclusive as possible. And I don't know how inclusive Monster Mash is, but that's what we did. And some people can tell me whether or not they agree
I
with
really
that.
struggle to see how people could disagree with fall festival, but then who the fuck knows? Like, people will just find things to be angry about.
Yeah, that's basically what it is everyone finds fault with, you know, any decision that anyone makes on anything. So we threw this event it was about 600 people that showed up at the school on Saturday. We had 23 rides or activities. We had llamas. We had 3 llamas that you could take pictures with. We had a petting zoo. We had caricature drawings. We had face painters. We had like all the, you know, carnival games that you can play. We had like 500 pounds of candy and food trucks. So like pizza and, you know, snow cones and churros and all that kind of stuff, and hula hoop contests and a haunted trail. And it was like, I used to be an event planner in a former life for like a decade, no, for more than a decade. Most of my career, honestly, has been events. And so this was like the first one that I've thrown in a really long time. And it's so much fucking work, dude.
Yeah.
And like the level of gratitude is so minimal, which I know. And I don't care. I don't need a thank you. But the complaining is also like, if I had a gratitude to counterbalance the complaint, that would be better than what we're getting. And it was so successful, and everyone had a great time. But we shouldn't be fighting about hay bales.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I think that like we do have PTAs, and I think that's like symptomatic of like, you know, schools not having proper level of support, that we need to have PTA groups and things like that. But
that's exactly what it is.
I absolutely understand, see the value of it, and I can't, like, I have obviously organized some things as well, and I think the frustrating thing about it is that people oftentimes will go, oh, everything went really smoothly, and you're like, yeah, you know why it went so fucking smoothly? Because I worked my fucking ass off. But nobody really sees that or really gives that much of a shit about it. So yeah, it's frustrating, and
and I felt bad because I had to like involve my my husband and be like, oh, like I have to go do this. I need you to go and pick up like 2 giant lighting systems and 4 generators that require a trailer. They're so big. You can't pick them up. You got
did he have to take 4 separate trips?
Yeah,
Wow.
basically.
Wow.
And then take them back too, and refill them with gas. And I was like, did you submit a receipt? And he's like, no, it's a donation. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
He rocks. But that's
Yeah.
a lot.
So that's my crack.
Yeah, fun.
How about you?
And
I know, right? You're like better you than
yeah,
me.
and like let me just tell you about my fucking lazy ass weekend. I
Please
went
do.
to a gig for the first time in ages. Essentially, somebody in my sort of yoga community and my local yoga community, he was having an album launch, and it was
Fun.
just really great. And like I was
What kind of an album?
electronic, but like he's got a beautiful voice, really fantastic voice, and he was kind of like, so it's a lot of electronic stuff, but it's him really kind of like using his instrument extremely well too, like really hitting those high notes, and it was really beautiful stuff. And it was essentially just him on stage with a microphone, a laptop, and a device that I'm not too sure. I don't know the terminology for this stuff, but like like that allows you to like queue up certain samples and blah blah blah.
Yep. Yep. The equipment has changed
Yeah.
so much from when I was like two turntables.
Well, absolutely, and like, but it was just fantastic to hear. It was great being there. There was like and it was also actually, I'll talk about the different artists. There was a few different artists beforehand. There was like a folky artist on first who was fantastic, and then the artist sort of like the second artist on, supporting artist, just came on. And he was like, I'm just gonna do some ambient dance sort of stuff. Like he was fairly vague about it, but he had like a 100-year-old harmonium, which was like a
I know what a
right.
harmonium
So
is.
I didn't really.
Yeah.
And he had like 3 of these different sort of sample box type things. Again, forgive me for the lack of terminology, and a separate table with a laptop on it. And he was just playing that and doing things with the different sort of these different boxes, and it was just fascinating to watch. It really was. And it was some great tunes. It was just nice to be out. I haven't really been out at a gig in a while now, and I definitely like going. Like I had no because my sister picked me up. She was going too, and she was like, "Do you get your ticket okay?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, do I need a ticket for this?" And then I was like, "Oh, I just assumed I could buy one on the door." Fortunately, I could. I got in there. It was bring your own alcohol as well, which I also didn't know about. So I was completely clueless about anything that was going on. But it was just, I say, it's nice getting to a place. I just, I love music. I like hearing new stuff. So it was just a nice experience to kind of be there and hear a load of kind of different new stuff. But also the venue was my old improv stomping grounds, which was nice.
Whoa.
It is way fancier now. The stage is in much better shape. They've clearly bought some new staging and things like that. So it was nice to be in there again, because it has been a couple of years maybe now. So yeah. So that was nice. Also, so like it has, that experience in general has really made me interested in like learning more about that side of things. I think I mentioned to you before about wanting to learn a bit more about maybe the production side of things, I guess, but also like how to mix things like in their kind of modern area in the modern era rather, without having a set of decks basically. And I've had some interesting conversations with friends about that recently. So it's
I have dabbled. Have I told you this? So I have a program. It's called FL Studio. I feel like
Maybe
we
we
talked
have.
about this.
but that doesn't.
And like, I basically watched YouTube videos, and it's kind of, I guess, like the annoying thing is it's not much. I guess I'm trying to like rationalize it in my brain. Like you can buy like packages, like you buy the software, and it's like 200 and something whatever. Yep. And of course I was like, what if I just want to be a professional, music producer? Ha
Sure.
ha. Never say never to
Exactly.
anything, right? So I got the pro version, and then you can buy like like different like sample packs that have different sounds, and like it comes with some things but not all things. And so like watching whatever YouTube video, like I didn't have the right sample pack, so I would buy the sample pack, and that would be another like 15 or 20 bucks. And I was so annoyed. I'm just like, give me all the things, right? Like it's like when you don't have the font and you have to spend 99 cents to buy the font. And then I'm like, but I would go to the record store otherwise, right?
Yeah, and probably like
and buy a record.
I'd say that I guess the reason why they do that is if they did include all that stuff, they'd be charging like what couple of $1,000 for it, which would put people off. And I guess there are people who, for a package like that makes sense. But yeah, I think I can understand why. My friend has like pushed me in the right direction for a few different things. I'm going to look in. I think the one I downloaded was Record Box as a way to start mixing stuff. But I'm going to speak to her more in more detail about the production side of things. I just want to start dabbling in it a wee bit and see whether it's for me, because like it's something like and I think I've expressed on the podcast before. I have an interest to get involved in more musical side of things, and with that in mind, I have another. Sort of music update. So I think I've told you about this before. I have a friend.
What?
I had talked about. I know I've told you about this aspect of it, but I have talked about joining a ukulele group in Carrickfergus.
Yes.
And they meet. Unfortunately, they meet in the same night as the choir meets. And I haven't been able to. So I mentioned this to my friend who plays bass and things like that, and he's got a few different instruments and stuff, and he goes, "Oh, I've got loads of ukuleles. Do you want one?" I'm like, "Sure, thanks, man. That'll be awesome. That'll be great." And he goes, "I've got two options for you. I've got this kind of brown one, or I've got this pink sparkly one. Which one would you like?" And I'm like, ask a silly question. Give me the pink sparkly one." So,
do you have it?
Yeah, I do.
Let me see. Oh, it's so great.
So I got pink sparkly. Yeah.
Wait, hold it up again. Oh man.
See the sparkles?
It is like. It's really professional.
It is a really nice job, and it's in tune, but unfortunately I can't play shit. But I really appreciate him bringing it down for me. I'm going to start making an effort to get into this. Just as like, a stepping stone. Like I need more things on my plate, but why not?
I know you're like obsessed with Steve Martin, and I'm quickly getting on that bandwagon. I told you I was watching Only Murders in the Building.
It's a good show.
And he plays, it's like a mini accordion thing. I can't remember. I think it starts at the C. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like he plays that. He plays the banjo. Yeah. He's also Steve Martin and like does that. And that's a whole thing, right? And he's a dad. Yeah. And it's like he said something in the show along the lines of like, to the youth people, to which I think of us as being youthful. But like, don't just focus on like, be interested in life, be creative, do new things, try new things. Don't just like, basically what I wish they had. It's like, people like fans just like outside their building that they're living in, like obsessed and just waiting and wanting answers and like waiting for them, wanting to say hi, and they're like super fans, and they actually end up inviting them up to like help them solve this crime and everything. But he's like, like get off the podcast, people, and like find a hobby.
Absolutely. And
which I'm saying, not saying that to our listeners. Only listen to our podcast. Do not have hobbies. Exactly.
All right, or better yet, listen to the podcast while you're doing your new hobby. How about that? Combine the two.
Yeah, there you go. Shut up, Andy.
All right.
That's so cool.
So that's the crack for me this week. I think that's all I have for the crack. Do you have any what's occurring?
I don't, but I got something in the mail from you.
Yes,
and we're talking about birthdays.
Okay, I've got a
so do you want me to
one before we get there?
Okay.
Which was just a friend of mine reached out. He mentioned it was nice hearing me discover like tequila in Mexico and how it has like it's like whiskey in our country. There's people who do certain blends, they age it for a long time, and like what a revelation it was for him. But he discovered this when he was 21, so a long time ago. But it was just nice to hear other people come to that conclusion, because it just does feel like something. I don't know. Maybe it's a UK thing, but I just had no idea that. I thought tequila was just, Jose Cuervo or whatever.
Jose Cuervo.
Sort of trash. Or we have other stuff.
Cabo Wabo.
Which is just shit.
Sammy Hagar, man.
But
yeah.
I wonder people who. Oh yeah, Sammy Hagar. I wonder are there people who think the same thing about whiskey in different countries as well, that think it's just cheap trash that gets you fucked up. Don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, like Jack Daniels or Evan Williams.
Exactly.
I mean, those are the American ones.
I think we have ones like that. I mean, Jameson's has a pretty bad reputation, but Jameson's isn't bad. I don't think.
No, it's really good. It's so good with the
I quite
Guinness. Like Guinness with the Jameson's
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I have for what's occurring. So let's shall we get into our topic for this week?
Okay, wait, we can. So Mike just finished the Powers
Oh, he did?
whiskey that you brought. And he actually peeled, because he makes we get vanilla beans when we go to Maria. So he like infuses whiskey with vanilla beans, so you get like vanilla bourbon. It's really good. So he like peels the labels off, but he kept the Powers label. He peeled it off and he stuck it on the fridge because it says like drinking age is 18.
Yeah.
Which in America it's 21. So
true, but
yeah, we thought we got a
But
turtle.
in your house it's 18 now. Yeah.
Right.
I love it. That's great. So yeah, we're looking at this week's topic. I've titled it "Happy Birthday to You!" Exclamation mark. Does that sound good? So I just thought it was interesting because Beth had her birthday recently, and I haven't really asked her this, but like I haven't really asked how she feels about birthdays generally, and it occurred to me that it's a really interesting topic because I know some people who hate them for very good reasons, or some people who just hate them because there's so much pressure and things like that, but also people who absolutely love them, probably to an extreme degree sometimes. So I thought it would be an interesting one to chat about. So yeah, to kick things off, I sent Beth 2 presents. One of them hasn't arrived. The one, and I've checked, the one that I definitely wanted to arrive has arrived, which is great news. Okay. So what we'll just do is when we get Beth to open her present, do you have it there?
Okay, we're gonna unbox.
Okay, so what we'll do
it's behind my computer.
Is as Beth's opening it, I'll just tell you what it looks like and what's happening here. Beth, do you have it there? Can you show it to camera?
I do.
Show the camera.
It's right here. Yeah.
Okay, so it is essentially like a rolled up piece of paper. It looks, so Beth's just going to open that up, and she's unrolling it. She's going to look at what it is.
You're such a dick. What am I going to do with this?
Frame it.
What am I supposed to do?
Frame it, of course.
You're such a dick. Okay, so it's actually like a canvas.
Is it in canvas?
Printing. It's on canvas.
As you can, okay, let me just tell everybody what it is. It's a poster it's a tiny poster for the movie Wolves.
It's the tiniest poster in the world.
I can't believe, I really struggled because I was like, oh shit, I need to get Beth some Wolves merchandise. And it was like, nobody was doing it apart from this one place in the UK. And it's like, god damn it, okay.
It's such a bad movie. Okay, so do we backstory this at all?
We talked about, I on the episode that we did when I was with you, I had it in my What's Bringing Me Joy, and you called me an asshole then too. So
god damn it. I have to look at this now.
So what will you do with it? Do you think you'll frame it or?
Okay, I will.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I framed the turkey photo. Oh, yeah, of course I'm going to frame that.
Okay.
The turkey photo that went over. I took our wedding family photo away and I put up the turkey picture instead.
Let's take these one at a time. So the first thing is we talked about Wolves briefly. Basically, we tried to watch it whenever I was over staying with Beth, and Beth hated it. And
yes, then we sat through the whole thing. We sat through the whole thing.
It started okay, and then it quickly went to shit. But Beth's just
and I was a little vocal, I know.
Beth's just if it really cracked me up, so I kept bringing it up every now and again. Beth, I found this incredible movie, etc., etc.
I'd be like, whoa, what is it?
Baiting her in.
It's called Wolves. And fuck you.
Something. So it really made me laugh. So I wanted to keep continuing on with that. Isn't that great a movie? It's on Apple. If anybody's curious,
Apple.
It's got Brad Pitt and George Clooney in it. It's an interesting concept initially, and I think the first 10-15 minutes I was like, okay, this is quite cool, and then it becomes quite broad and pretty dumb, and
it's just the same joke over and over and over,
and it was just this is kind of a waste
and then
of time.
you just stop caring. I don't even like either of them. Like they can both kill each other. Don't give a shit.
See how much she dislikes it.
Yeah.
So that really made me crack up.
I'm like sweating. I'm so like irritated.
So the other thing we should talk about, because we did mention it briefly, I think on one of the episodes when I was over staying with you, was the turkey photo. Whenever we were in, I don't think we've talked about it on podcast, have we? No.
I don't think we have. Okay, so I took Andy to this. We talked about it's like a Pioneer Museum.
We talked about
the museum. So basically, the town I live in was like a turkey production capital, and so they had like turkey like outfits, and there was a turkey festival every year, and then they would make one of the turkeys the like king turkey, like literally. And so there's this like photo probably from like the 1950s of this like beautiful starlet in a bathing suit, and she's holding like an old camera, and she's taking a photo of a turkey who's wearing like a giant bow tie and a little king hat. It's black and white. I may have to actually like put it on.
It's so incredible.
It's pretty great.
It's fantastic.
It was $10, and Mike was like, "Do you like this?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, yes.
So incredible.
So much like pink ukuleles, like just things that are a little bit like different.
I hear you.
In just the right way.
That fucking weird outsider art shit. I love it.
And now people are going to come over to my house and be like, "Wow, do you like the movie Wolves?" I'm going to have to be like, "No, I hate it. My stupid friend Andy."
Amazing. So good. It's a gift that keeps coming. That's the one I'm glad. The other one you can just open, and it's kind of on theme with.
Okay.
I can let you know it's kind of on theme with what you've been loving recently. That was the one I really wanted you to open on pod. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you
so
for
welcome.
that, for my birthday present.
You'd love it. Okay. So yeah, well, let's get onto our topic properly. So we're talking about birthdays. I mean, you know, based on what I was saying there earlier, you know, about birthdays, what is your general feeling about your own birthdays, about birthdays generally?
I think I have very complicated feelings about birthdays. I think, you know, it changes as you get older. Like as a kid, it was pretty cool, I think, generally. Can you hear my bird?
No.
Okay, good. I can. I love her, but she gets mad when I'm talking, not to her, right? So, like, I like them when there are, like, children involved. I think more so than when it's, like, an adult having a birthday. Like, I find myself getting irritated when there's an adult that's like, "Oh, my birthday this year, I want to, you know," and they, like, maybe there's a certain age at which you just like don't need everyone to celebrate the day you were born. I mean, like, you know, close family or whatever, but like I get irritated when it's like a whole thing. It's a production. Yes. People that are like, "It's my birthday month," and I'm like, "Oh my fucking god." Yes. Like, are you kidding me? I'm having to like worship you. I mean, obviously it's my birthday was 12 days ago. We're still talking about it.
But that's just been like a timeline up thing more than anything else, you know.
That's your fault. Yeah. It's true. But like I don't typically like celebrating. I do it for my children, honestly. But like I love celebrating other people. I will say, like, I do like celebrating other people's birthday more than my own. And like
I mean, my feelings on, I mean, like, you know, broadly similar to yourself, like I definitely enjoy them more growing up, but I've always been quite frustrated whenever people kind of get angry with you about forgetting their birthday. It's like it's not the sort of thing I remember. Like I you know, and I know people who like have systems for that, but I'm just like it's not something I can take on. Like, and I also, because I know so many bloody people, it's like I don't really need to be remembering everybody's birthday and then like thinking about buying them gifts or anything like that. I just can't take that on. Sorry. I love you all, but it's just not something that's gonna, I can't make space for it really. And it's the same way I
Yeah.
feel about my birthday though as well. Like if people forget my birthday, some people are really apologetic, and I'm like, don't even give it a second thought. Like I don't care. Like and I think my feelings on an adult birthday are, if it means a lot to you, you're the one who has to spread the word. You're the one who has to, be like, I'm having this thing, but also be sure to let people know that it's friggin' optional. Like, it's not like you don't ever. It's like you have to come to my birthday. No, you don't. You don't have to do anything. It's fine. It's just another day.
Yeah.
It's So and it's always been that way for me. Whereas like sometimes I would have a party for my birthday, and I like as an adult, but I have that because I like the party. I like getting people together.
Getting people
that I
together.
do. Like it's something that
Yeah.
is important to me, and it's a good excuse to. It's the same way that like I like the run up to Christmas because I can organize stuff and I can get people together more so than the day itself and all the kind of that sort of crap. So like I like that aspect to it. Like I always think it's good to have an excuse to like get your people together, but like I think that I I don't really care as an adult. I don't really care that much, and I have never really cared that much. But like conversely to that, I have absolutely had times when I've like done nothing and felt deeply depressed about it. But then
Yeah.
that's my brain just generally, so it's not surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was thinking like, what were some of my best birthdays and some of my worst birthdays? Like what were some of your best birthdays where you actually did like as a kid or like as an adult, like, wow, that was really fun and like I really am glad that I celebrated.
That's a good question. I really don't know. I'd struggle to really think about that. I remember having like a 30th birthday in Australia, and like I started the day by myself, and I went out and I had a nice breakfast and I read my book, which was fantastic. But then I ended up like going out drinking with some friends, and it was really lovely. But like it's tough for me to really think about the special birthdays that particularly jump to mind. Like I can think of like some Christmas times that were special and some New Year's that were special, but yeah, for whatever reason, birthdays aren't just something that like comes back to me in a major way. Like I remember some of the big ones, but they weren't always like my 40th is a memory for me, but not particularly a positive one. I had a big party, but it was more of a way to deal with the big breakup that I'd just had. Do you know what I mean? Rather than something that I really wanted to do.
Yeah, I like Hallmark birthdays, like not like the 21
Yes.
in America is
Yes,
a
it
big
is here
one.
too.
18 is
Yeah.
a big one. 6 okay. So so it's also like new things are getting created, like the golden
Yeah.
birthday, like whatever. That didn't exist until do you guys have
I
Hallmark?
think we do, but I certainly know what you're talking
So it's
about.
like a greeting. Yeah, it's a greeting card company that basically realized that they could make a ton of money on decorations and greeting cards if they just like really amped up this like need to have holidays. So you'll hear the term like Hallmark holiday, and that's because, we didn't really celebrate Valentine's Day
Yes.
like we do like 40 years ago kind of thing. And like Mike took Harper to Home Depot because she wanted to see the skeletons like 3 weeks ago, and he's like, they're already gone. Christmas stuff is already up, right?
Crazy.
And it's not even Halloween yet. So it's like our economy is
It's built.
built
What's the next
on
thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing?
Yep. And like birthdays, I think, are becoming that. And it's like social media too, I think, feeds into that. So you'll see people and it's like it's their birthday month and it's their birthday trip, and they expect their friends to like shell out all this money so they can go to their birthday trip at Coachella or whatever. And I'm just like, right? And so that's a whole like, I think the expectation for, making it look I'm air quoting, like look like an amazing experience. I don't know, takes away from what it's really about, which is like, yeah, I lived another year.
Which is all it is, really. And I mean,
Yeah.
talking about it there, it's like, I understand the need to feel special, right? I mean, everybody needs that sometimes, and I suppose it's a good way to be like, oh, I need to feel special. This is my big day. You know what I mean? And people making a fuss out of you. But I think it's maybe good to be clear in those expectations as well, because otherwise it can quickly end in like disappointment. Like I still have a clear memory of being in a Starbucks. I think this is when I was here a few years, or when I was over there, sorry, a few years ago, and I was just like getting some breakfast or whatever, and this lady came in and she was like, "It's my birthday, I want the free croissant," basically. And she made a whole fucking scene about it because she didn't get exactly the one that she wanted, and like she like walked out, came back in and said, "I don't really want this one, I want that one," and all this sort of thing. And I'm like, ugh. This sucks.
I'm not, yes. I know someone that actually spends her entire birthday running around town getting all the free things because it's their birthday. It's a choice. It's a choice. Yeah, so I think birthdays are just like generally commercial. I also think I started thinking about like, I know you went and saw the movie Substance, which I haven't yet seen, but I know the premise is about aging and like, people not wanting to age, and, so I think part of birthdays for, people that are 40 and older, it's like, oh no, I'm another year older or whatever. And like, it's kind of like, it becomes less exciting and more of like a reminder of mortality.
Yeah.
Which like, I'm cool with, honestly. I want to remember those things. I don't want to like, put my head in the sand and like, get the Botox in my forehead. Not to say I never will, but
you're right.
Knowing my body, I'll have like the opposite reaction.
Just end up like,
and it'll just like,
multiple wrinkles, like a freaking Dick Tracy character.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
So, but I think, I totally get that, and I think you're right, but it is very much like a reaction to everything that media tells them and everything that, and it is exactly like the Substance, where it's like, people are terrified of getting old or whatever because, God, I don't know, the message, and that's all the messaging says. That's all the freaking, certainly when it comes to health and beauty stuff, like it's this, such a fundamental part of the marketing message. Like it's horrible.
Yeah, it's funny because like occasionally they have these like, you can get like a makeup box or like and every month you get like samples of like mascara or like eye makeup, and all I get now is like anti-aging products for my skin. And I'm like, I don't use that shit, man. I use just like soap and water.
Yep.
And like it's gonna happen, right? Gravity is just like, gravity has a pull.
So true.
And it's gonna happen. So, but it's just interesting because like open it, I'm like, I'm never gonna use this, and I feel bad about myself.
Yes, exactly. It's like fucking.
I'm gonna tell you that I'm 25 and see what I get. Probably get nail polish.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, do that. Hey, but I still remember that Andy got carded just a few weeks ago.
Yes, this is true. Let us remember.
Let's never forget. Okay.
Let us pray it happens again.
That's the anniversary.
Soon.
That's the anniversary we're going to be celebrating going forwards.
Yeah. You know what I do? You know what I do love about birthdays though? Like, when you're in a restaurant and you don't know the people, but like you hear like, and then like their party singing happy birthday. That is my jam. Yeah. I don't know anybody at there, but I like sing happy birthday to this random stranger as loud as I possibly can. And I always feel really good about it.
You know what I love doing in those? And maybe this is just me. Absolutely. It's just...
Do you cha-cha-cha?
No. I do, whenever it's just went silent, everybody's finished and it's clapping, do and many more. I love it. Of course I do. Naturally. So I didn't get to ask you because I went on a friggin' tangent. But do you have any birthday
I love it.
parties or any birthday days that hold a special memory for you?
I thought about it. Yeah, I think I've talked about it before. I can't remember if I've talked about it on pod or not, but I had a 10-10-10
Ooh,
birthday.
nice.
So yeah, and now I'm giving everyone well, I was born, I'm not going to tell you the year I was born, but I was born on the 10th day of the 10th month. And so on 10-10-10 it was
Hell
my
yeah.
birthday. And so I was in San Francisco for that with all of our Burning Man friends, and that was like epically fun. That was super fun. My 30th birthday, Mike bought me a flight, like learn to fly a plane
Nice.
kind of thing. And that was super cool. But really what I like this year, everyone had school and work, and like we went to one of my favorite, not my favorite restaurant, but one of my other favorite restaurants. And it was just simple and nice.
Yeah.
And the kids, like, I asked the kids, I'm like, what do you guys like about birthdays? And Harper's like, I like, she could tell I was interviewing her for the podcast, I think. She was like, is this for the podcast? And I was like, yeah. But just like, I don't talk like, like this is for, public consumption. Like, what do you think? Because she was like, it's all about being with my family and being together, And she's like, I really like the cake.
Yeah.
And like the candles and that whole thing where you light the candles and she gets to hold the plate now and like walk it out and sing and put the plate in front of the person. And, like, I like that. I like that. The simplicity of like, we're all going to have a sweetie together, right? And there's going to be some fire.
I mean, like, I totally get loving cake. I mean, cake rules. So, like, I'm right there with her.
Totally. So I had creme brulee.
Ooh, nice. Good choice. Birthday creme brulee. Let's make that a thing.
I know. What about you?
I kind of remember it was either must be my 21st, like having a bit of a because like a lot of my big birthdays I haven't been, like my 18th for example happened when I was doing my Amtrak traveling around. No, wait, that's not right. That must be my 20th. That must have been. What was my 18th? Who knows? But like
when can you vote?
18, I think, in this country. I'm pretty sure.
So you can smoke, drink, and vote when you're 18.
Yeah. You can smoke from 16, or at least you used to be able to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like.
Go big tobacco.
Yeah, 18 to vote. I think smoking's maybe been moved up, but I was 16 for a while there. The law was changed. So it was until 2007. It was 16. So, but as a non-smoker, I don't pay attention to those things, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
I tried. I was really bad at it.
I think I told you before. I had like a pretentious phase whenever I was in University of North Carolina, where I was smoking menthols, and I was like, these fucking suck. So yeah, I have been given cigarettes a couple of different times when I've been really drunk, and I can never even finish one. I'm just like, this is awful. No, thank you. So yeah, thank God. Honestly,
my party trick. Have I told you this? I get like everyone's cigarettes, and I light them all, and then I hand them out.
Nice. I was gonna say, whoa.
No, and then I smoke them all. No, but I just Mike smoked he was smoking when we started dating. And he has asthma because he's like really smart.
Yeah. I mean, God, that doesn't stop a lot of people who are smokers.
Yeah.
One of my friends started smoking. This is the dumbest shit ever. Started smoking because he bet somebody that he could smoke for a month and come off them, and he then ended up smoking for 20 years. Yeah. Right.
That's like an award-winning idea.
Right? I remember that happening at the time and me being like, this is a fucking terrible idea, dude. This is really terrible. He's like, no, I can do it. I've got willpower. And I'm like, I don't know. Because he was somebody who was I was aware he had a bit of an addictive personality, and he liked to drink. And I was like, this is a recipe for disaster. And yeah, then, and here we are. I think he's given up now ish.
There's enough science behind to know that it's
Just a fucking.
there's a recipe in those little cancer sticks
and
to keep
so
you
not
hooked.
only did he get a smoking habit, he lost the bet. It's like
Right?
fucking wild. But anyway, so yeah, that was great fun. The other thing,
How do you can I ask like a cultural
Yeah.
question? Like Irish birthdays, are they different than American
I
birthdays?
don't think so.
Like, do you wear funny hats?
No, like I guess as a kid we would have maybe played party games and stuff, but I think you guys would have done that, musical chairs, things like that, pass the parcel.
Yeah. What's a pass the parcel? No,
Pass
I
the
don't know what
parcel
that is.
is a game where you have, so this is just extra work for the fucking parents, they have a gift of some kind and they wrap it like 10, 12 times.
Oh.
You pass it to music stops, one person unwraps it until finally the person who does the last unwrapping gets the gift. So yeah, things like that. So
That's just like a way to keep the kids
Yes.
occupied and quiet.
100%. So yeah,
Not like beating the shit out of a pinata.
no, God, yeah, that's something I wish we had over here. It's and it was amazing, so much fun. But like I think, and I'd say this isn't broadly different from the US. Most of the times, once you hit drinking age, it becomes a drinking based, affair. So yeah, I don't think so. Like I say, I've celebrated American friends' birthday parties, a couple of different times, and it's much the same. Not any major difference. That was one of the other things, because was like the connection of alcohol to birthdays. So it's one of the things that always gets me in particular, and I wonder if this is the same for you guys, which is that there's so much like, oh, be careful with alcohol, blah blah blah, liver cancer, yada yada yada. But then you go to the greeting card aisle and you see birthday cards and they're like, oh, it's Prosecco o'clock, or it's beer time, Dad loves beers, blah blah blah. Like so many of the cards, I'd say like 50% are alcohol related, and it's like, this is fuck. It's the same there. It's fuck.
Yeah, like little old ladies, and it's like,
Yes.
it's wine time. Like, I don't know,
Or beer
all these
goggle,
little catchphrases for
all sorts of shit. Like it's just just alcohol themed whatever. Like it's just so much of it.
Yeah. And I'm sure like if I was sober, I would notice those things even
Yeah.
more, because it is like such a part of our culture. And yeah, like people, like it's different when you have kids because, those hangovers are
Yeah.
rough for many reasons. But like it is all about, meet somewhere and just get completely like
Yeah.
wasted.
Yeah. And I
And don't like, yeah.
blackout drunk. Yeah.
Don't-
It's certainly like that would have been somewhat similar. It's interesting to look back on that because it has been extremely rare that I get very very drunk like for a long time. It's not, what it normally is. It's whenever I have friends who like have kids and they get a few days away from them and they just go nuts and I just get
And they're like,
dragged
yes.
into the insanity and I'm like, no. So yeah, those are the only times it really happens these days. But oh god, whenever it does happen, the next few days are so awful. I'm like, why did I do this?
Yeah. No, it's like all those like days that you would wake up and you're like, God, I'm not hungover. Like, I feel like your body like remembers and like holds on to those days, those little cards of like, oh yeah, no, you're gonna pay that. This one's gonna get paid forward
Absolutely.
when you're older, right?
Yeah, like I've got a friend who's like, I never get hangovers, and I'm like, you're gonna pay for that one day, dude. You're going to pay.
Yep. I remember someone like one of my friends, he turned, because he's like a year older than me, and he turned 30 and he's like, it's the craziest thing. Like, I don't get hangovers anymore. You turn 30, you don't get hangovers. And I was like, that's so cool. And like, not
No.
true. Not not a fact. Not true
It's like
at all.
some coping mechanisms right there. It's like, yay, I can keep
I know.
drinking.
I know. I
Um,
know.
but yeah, it is. It's say it's always like so funny how those things. And I suppose like we talked earlier about like the greeting cards, sort of one holiday going into the other. I guess they are hand in hand with you know alcohol companies and things like that as well because they're all kind of feeding each other in that way.
Yeah. Or owned by the same
This is the
person.
giant
Once you
fucking
like,
conglomerate. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So, did you guys have like McDonald's birthday
Oh
parties? Was that a
yeah, we
thing?
did.
Do you remember? Like, I totally remember like going, and maybe it was like a Kentucky thing. Like, this is, we didn't have roller rinks or anything,
Hmm.
but like going and you would get like all the French fries and little hats and everything, and it was like such a big deal, and everyone would sing happy birthday, and like that was the thing, and it's not
Yeah.
anymore. Like, when was the last time someone was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to McDonald's for our kid's birthday"? Like they lost
That's
out
true.
on
Like, I
that.
think they do still do them to an extent, but I don't think quite as much. This is actually a great way for me to tell you about something in the UK because I never had a McDonald's one, but there was a chain over here called Wimpy, and apparently like it was founded
Like
in the US, bizarrely. So
like Wimpy's.
WIMPS no WIMPY. I don't know if it was Wimpy's. It's a good
Wimpy's.
question, but I remember having a birthday party in there as a kid. Who knows what age I was, but like it was because there was a time when McDonald's didn't, because of the situation in this country, many chains did not really have much of a footprint here for many years, and because this was more of a
Hmm.
UK chain, Wimpy, it did have it. So like that's just what we had, and I have a memory of having a Wimpy birthday, and it was much the same. It was all that bullshit. Here's a cardboard crown, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
times.
The other thing I remember, it's like it was like once you turn 21, you would go to like, we have restaurants like you guys, have you heard of like Husong and Larry's?
Mm-mm.
It's kind of like it's a chain, but they get like usually they'll get one of those. The whole goal is to embarrass
Oh yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll get one of those like toilet paper covers, and they'll like put that around your neck and attach a
Okay.
balloon to it so everyone can see that it's your birthday and you're wearing like a toilet paper cover around your neck.
Yes.
And like
Yes.
people send you shots, and like it's a whole thing. So
I mean, oh yeah, that's not because what I started thinking of was what isn't it like Deck's Last Resort or whatever, which is the chain where they just
yeah,
insult the shit
yep,
out of you. Yeah, okay, so things like that.
they do
Okay,
that. Yeah, they get paid to be an
yeah,
asshole.
that's
Which like now, I don't know if they can get. I don't. They clearly still get away with it because I still see people with like Dick's Last Resort
yeah,
T-shirts, but it's
it is,
harassment.
and like I think but I think it like because we talked about before about not loving pranks or roasting particularly, and I think it kind of falls under that category. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of I
Yeah.
have I don't want to go on and be fucking insulted in a restaurant particularly. Like I just don't. It's not interesting to me at all. But I guess some people love it. So
Hmm.
masochists are us.
It's true.
But yeah.
Masochists are us.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any other thoughts on birthdays or anything else?
I just think like I have one
Yeah.
question. Do people take off their like from work for their birthdays in your country? Because that's a thing here.
I sometimes I would say I not entirely
Yeah.
uncommon, but like for somebody like me who is like wants all my leave for actually going places, it's not been a thing, and like I have other friends who are like that too, but like definitely some people do, but like it also becomes there is like a certain element of on your birthday if you're in work that you have to bring buns or a cake or whatever in.
So here, there's like a little bit of a push, I think, for paid birthday off
Oh,
like
it'd be nice.
day.
But
So you get a lot of times now you get like a personal day to do whatever, and a lot of people use that for their birthday. And it's different in our country. the expectation is like the staff will provide a
I see.
cake and like bring flowers, or like usually like when I was, running whatever, I would take the staff out for
Yeah.
lunch to
Yeah.
celebrate, and we would all like go in on a gift for the person.
Like my feeling on that is like just give your staff more bloody leave rather than just giving them they're
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the amount of leave that
Yeah.
Americans get is ludicrous. I think I told you about the thing was you I mentioned it too, that like a tweet I saw that really made me laugh, which was like European PTO was like okay, I'm going camping for the summer, I'll get back to you in 2 months, whereas American PTO is like I'm getting major surgery this afternoon, I'll be back at my desk in 2 hours. Did we talk about that on here?
Yeah.
We did. Okay. No.
No,
Okay.
but you're absolutely right. You're
It's
absolutely right.
ridiculous. Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like that's yeah. Like when Mike had COVID for 3 weeks, like he worked
Yeah.
the whole time. He didn't take any sick time at all.
Not good.
And he was like, "What the fuck else am I gonna do?" And I'm like, "Heal and not get pneumonia."
Yeah, it's so true.
Guess who was right?
Yeah.
Me.
Life.
Yeah, but generally, like, I'm gonna absolve people. No, I'm not. But like, if you like celebrating your birthday, good
Yeah.
for you. And if you don't like celebrating your birthday,
Yeah, exactly.
good for
Just do
you.
what the fuck you want. I mean, like, and it's as always that we say in all these things, it's just like enjoy yourself, and it's like, I think, and it's one of those things where it's like, try to take the I think there is pressure, irregardless, and like all these things to like make a note of it at least, and it's just do your
Yeah.
best to ignore that and to kind of like make it meaningful for you. But like, I can say these things, but I can also get mortified and depressed on my birthday, so like, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. And I will say, like, I would be sad if no one in my family
Yes.
cared or whatever. Like, that would be a real
I agree.
bummer.
And
But I think part of it is because, like, I am so grateful that I got to live another year because I have that different perspective. Like, bring on the wrinkles, please. Like, I earned that shit.
So I think basically what it comes down to is that if there are people in your life that you care about, just make them feel special. And it doesn't have to be at their birthday. Just, I think that's
Yeah.
the best way to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously make a note of birthdays if you can. But, just, give a shit about the people you love.
All the
All
time.
All the
Just
time.
not, yeah. Like, asshole, except for that one day.
Yeah, treat them like pure shit, and then like just shower them with love, and they'll just be like going insane. They're like, "What's happening? Why is this going on?" Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just blabbing, but like I'll read like Slate's Dear Prudence or like
Yeah.
Reddit, like, am I the asshole? And, like, my husband never posts like happy birthday to me on Facebook, on social media, and it really bothers me. And I'm just like, who fucking cares? And like, or the ones that are like, my husband literally like gets me nothing. I have to buy my own present, and like that shit.
there's a
hurts my
happy
heart.
medium there. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think rightfully, all too
Yeah.
often, the people who are like, "Why doesn't he do this?" Like, post on social media, people be like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, you get
Yeah.
you have like, because oftentimes it'll be like, "We had a big party, all my friends came over, but he didn't post about it on Facebook," and it's like, "Shut the fuck up," which is good. But like, I definitely think if you're in a loving relationship with somebody, you should actually make a bit of an effort. Like, it's not hard to
Agreed.
do. This is really resonating with something else that I am enjoying at the minute, but I'm going to talk about that another time.
Okay.
I think it's a
Fine, Andy.
it's a wee teaser for you listeners at home. I mean, like, I teased absolutely nothing there. Just like, come back next week. I'm going to talk more shit at you. Okay.
It's true. It's
All right,
true.
folks.
Okay, I have one.
Oh, you
wait,
don't?
wait. No, I'm not done.
Damn it.
No, I have one
Uh-huh.
last question. Would you like to live to celebrate your 100th
No.
birthday?
Probably not.
And why not?
I've
Yeah.
already I've already had enough birthdays. It's probably just a symptom of my general feeling about life, but like, I think I probably should give that a serious answer. Possibly, I don't know. I think I would need my life to be a little bit different for me to really want that.
Mm-hmm.
Because like yeah, like I feel like I am treating my body in such a way that the chances of me getting there are a lot higher as this thing goes on. So I really kind of need to start
This thing,
this
this thing called
fucking
life.
nightmare drags on. So I need to start thinking about these things. So yeah, my gut reaction is no, but I would like a different situation if that was to be the case.
Yeah, I get it. Like I think if I was close with family and I had like great
Yeah,
grandkids and like, we all lived around each other and like people would come and see me
yeah.
occasionally and call me on the phone or whatever technology is happening at the time. But like really like so few, I guess more people are living to be 100, but the amount of grief and loss that you have to
To
go
get there,
through
yeah, it's true.
to get there, like I just I don't know if I could handle
I
it.
understand that. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
So maybe not.
yeah.
Or I'll get a bunch of money and I'll like cryogenically freeze myself and come
Yeah,
back.
like Elon Musk will have figured out how to put our brains in robot
Uh-huh.
bodies, and then we'll like find out that we're on the hook to pay for that robot body for like the next 300 years, and end up working in
Yeah.
his fucking
We look like
slave mines on
Yeah.
Mars. Sorry.
it's funny because it's like
Yeah, I know. It's very possible. But yeah, so yeah, one to look forward to, folks. Our 100th birthday. Think about that. I think are we done?
I think that's
that
all I
was a
had.
great
That's all
way.
I had. Sorry, no, I had
I
a
love
yeah.
it. It was a good ending. Okay.
Thanks.
So, and then we have to hard pivot here, Beth. Okay, we have to pivot
Ugh.
to what's been bringing you joy this week.
Harper said something to me the other day. I had to like, what was I doing? I think the kids want to hang out. Like, I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and they just realized that they can invite their parent to have lunch with them, and so they're both like Harper invited
Love
me,
it. That's amazing.
and then she gave me the wrong
Oh, no.
time, so I like she eats lunch at like 10:40, and I was like in the shower, and she told me noon. So I was prepared for that. And so like she was super dejected and sad. And so I felt really bad. So I was like, I'll come tomorrow at 10:40. And like the look on her face, just like the excitement. And also like I'm getting to know the staff and other students on campus. And she was like, Mama. And I was like, what? And she was like, like you were talking to everybody. Everybody was like saying hi to you and talking to you. And like she sees that, and that makes me feel good that like I'm making it's like evidence that I'm making connections here. And I know like that's something you and I have talked about a lot, where I'm just like I need community here, and like I need friends, and like I need to feel like I'm part of something, and like it's happening to the point where other people see it and are recognizing it. Like my kid is seeing it and recognizing it, and that feels
I saw
good.
it when I was there. Like you're both in like
Thanks.
the car rally that we went to and the kids' party. Like I could see that I could see it happening, and it was great. So yeah, that's awesome. I love it. It's a good one.
There's joy there. Yeah. What about you?
Okay.
Haha.
Oh,
Your turn, Andy.
shit, now we're talking
Go.
about a dumb video game. Fuck. So
Yay!
I've been really like.
I found a job for you,
Okay,
by the
okay.
way.
Okay.
Because
So
I
we
was
talking
like,
about that.
yeah.
So we talking about that first.
Well, it's for one of the film studios. It's for Netflix
Okay.
actually, and they're rolling out a gaming component to Netflix.
Okay. Yes. I'm aware of this.
But you have to like be a gamer, and like the job is basically like rolling this thing out and like knowing that like having like a technical background.
Okay. All right. Okay. Send me
anyways.
that through.
Yeah.
Um.
Okay. And you'd make like I don't know, like 270,000
Sweet.
US
Okay,
a
perfect.
year.
Okay, this is all
I
coming
know.
together. Okay,
Uh-huh.
this all fits in with my other
Okay.
plan. Okay, so the game I'm playing, it's an older game, and I've just recently got back into it, and it's called Sifu. It's essentially there have been a lot of sort of like 3D, fairly kind of open world sort of fighting game type things that like, but all of them don't quite work or feel clunky. It is just such a kind of I've never felt more like Bruce Lee in any video game ever. Like it's just it feels so fluid and natural, and the level of control it gives you, like it is fucking hard. Like all too often you'll just be getting like smashed around the head repeatedly and you fall over dead. But it's one of those games, and it's the sort of game that I really love, where when you master it, you feel like an absolute legitimate martial arts badass. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. It really leans into the influences. There is a corridor style sequence that's like out of Old Boy and things like that. That's kind of shot that way.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's also got. I don't know if you've seen the raid. It's got a lot of sections that are close to the raid. It's just in terms of the art direction, the style. Like there's one of the sequences that's set in a nightclub, and it used like the flashing neon lights and all sorts of things. It's just absolutely stupendous. And if you like video games, I cannot recommend it enough. Some of the people who I know listen to the podcast, I am going to make you play this game soon, so be warned.
Watch out.
Coming and he's making you play a video game. So yeah, Sifu, fantastic. I love it. Making me very happy
good.
recently. So it's just the kind of thing that really draws my focus in, and it really engages me.
I'm so
Thanks.
happy.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's been bringing me joy this week. So yeah. So I feel like that's a good.
You talk with your
I know.
hands when you're really
I
excited.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I'm an animated person sometimes, begrudgingly. All right. So it's time to wrap up our episode, and in which case we need. No, wait, whoa.
Oh yes, find us at bendypodcast.com. I have a favor to ask for
Yeah.
our listeners. If you like us and this is something that you're enjoying, maybe just mention to your friends that there's this awesome podcast called Bendy, and that they should give it a listen, because we would love to
Get out there a wee bit more.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Spread
Thank
the word.
you.
Help spread.
And,
that
and I
would
think we
be
have
wonderful.
enough of a back catalogue of stuff that if there's particular subjects you think they'd be interested in, maybe like point them to specific episodes and things like that.
That's a great idea. Yep.
So yeah, so that's great.
It's specifically the one where Andy talks about having to take a giant shit on the
Yeah.
hiking trail.
That's a highlight.
That also brought me joy when I was editing that clip, and I'm like dying laughing.
My friend recently was like, do you edit out stuff that's embarrassing to you? And I'm like, not at all. I like lean into it. I told a story about me nearly shitting myself on a hike, and she's like, did you? And I'm like, I'm going to send you the video. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So
People can't miss out on this.
They can't miss. All right, folks. In that case, as always, we'd like to remind you to Bendy. Nice. That was a real endurance one that time.
It did. It was good. It did. Zoom did the thing again where it's like playing music.
Yes. I love you, Sam.
Set up professional audio.
Amazing.
Shut up, Zoom.
Right.
All right.
Love you.
Love you
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye. 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 Bye.